Hello guys, hello and welcome to our tutorial for tonight. So I'm just trying to rule my lines before we start. Okay, I'm trying to rule all of the lines. So these are the lines that I'm going to be needing for this bust here. So hello, good evening. Please, if you can hear me, let me know. You're welcome. Thank you so much guys for joining. Thank you for today. Welcome to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Our live our live class for today. You're welcome. So let me know where you're watching me from. If the sound is okay, please let me know. Okay. So you are highly welcome. So I'm going to be starting the tutorial now. So as people come, they will join. I don't want to waste so much time. So let's just get started. So I have some lines that I already have on my pattern paper here, which I am going to explain. Good evening. You're welcome. Good evening. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know, is our sound okay? So this first line I have here is my shoulder line. And then from my shoulder to 10 inches is my bust point. And then from my shoulder to 13 is my under bust. And then from my shoulder to 19 is my top length or half cuts. Okay. So these are all of the lines that we have. So like I said, it is an over bust here. So I'm just trying to see if I can pull out a picture of it and show you guys. Let's see. So this is it. So this is what we're going to learn how to drop today, the top part of the bodies. So that's what we're going to learn. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to come to this shoulder line and then you're going to mark your shoulder measurement. So for this, the shoulder measurement I'll use is 13. So I'll divide 13 into 2. I'll have 6.5. I'll add just half inch because it is an off shoulder. And then from this point I'll come down by 1 inch. Okay, and then when I come down by 1 inch, I'm going to connect that line into the shoulder line. And then from this point I'm going to mark 7.7 inches, sorry, that I'm going to use for my armhole. So in case you don't know how to get your armhole, you can divide your bust circumference into 6 and then add 1.5. So the next I'm going to come to the midpoint of my armhole. I'll come in by 1/4 inch and then I am going to connect it together like this. So I'll just connect it. Okay, so you're welcome. If you can hear me, please let me know. I noticed like the network is having a little bit of issue. So just our armhole. So the next thing we want to do, we want to start creating out our bustier pattern. So for this, we're going to use the shoulder dart. So let's do the shoulder dart pattern. So for this, we're going to use half of our bust pan. So the bust pan is 8. I'll divide that into 2. I'm going to have 4 inches. So I'm just going to mark the 4 inches on all of these 3 lines. And then once I've marked it, I'll connect it. Okay. So our for those of you that have been following me, this measurement that we're using, our bust is 36, under bust is 30, our waist is 34. So those are the dimensions we're going to be making of. So I'll connect this like this. And then the next thing I'm going to do, like I said, we're using a shoulder dart bustier pattern. So I'm going to come to this point. I'm going to mark my neck width, which is 3 inches. And then for that 3 inches, I'm just going to mark 3 by 2. Even though we actually don't need this. So I'm just trying to check. Yes, we don't need this. But that 3 by 2 is okay. So I'm just going to mark it here like this. So the next thing I'm going to connect this on my shoulder. I'm going to check what I have. I'll divide that into 2. And then I'm going to connect this to form the shoulder dart like this. I'll connect this. Once I connect it, the next thing I'm going to come to my under bust. I want to do a dart of 2 inches. So I'll mark the 2 inches here like this. Okay. So once I mark the dart of 2 inches, I'm going to connect that 2 inches to that bust point. Can you see? I'll connect it like this. So you see, so this part, I'm just going to blend this. I need it blended. Can you see? And then the next thing I want to do, I want to come to the down part. I'll mark 1.5 here at the down, and then I'm just going to connect it like this. Okay, so the next thing, I want to take out the full body measurement. So for the full body measurement, our bust is 36. I'll divide that into 4. I have 9. And then I'm going to add my 2 inches that, and then just 1 inch allowance. Okay. I'll come to my under bust, which is 30. I'll divide that into 4. All my measurement, by the way, they are divided into 4. I thought I said 2, which is 7.5. I'll add my 2 inches that, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. I'll come to the waist, which is 34 divided by 4, which is 8.5. I'll add my 2 inch, my 1.5 inch that, because the down part I took 1.5, and then I'll add 1 inch for the stitching. And then this line, I'm just going to extend this line like this armhole line, and then I'm going to connect all of those lines together. So for, if I want to add a bust dart, I'm going to come to this point. Depends on how many inches difference I have between the back and the front. So I'm going to use, if I want to take 1.5 inches, I'm just going to come up like this from the waist, and then I'm going to connect that to that point like that for that bust dart. So this is all I need. The next thing I want to do now, we want to create out our style line. So it is a simple process. So it depends, for us to create out our style line, depends on how high. So let me show you how high you want this part. So this same particular pattern, they use it for boo. You know those boo that they put lace on top, so you can use it. So if you notice, this cut, this overbust comes from the under of the armhole. That's here like this. It comes from this under of this armhole. Just watch what I am doing. It comes like this. This is basically the cut. Can you see? So now I'm just using my free hand just to like do it. You get? So the next thing we want to watch, we're done with the style line. So the next thing we want to check is how deep you want this part from here to here. So you can see this basically look like it is around the chest line as it came up, and this is our chest line. So we can decide to come up. You understand? So from that chest line, we can decide to come up, because if you do this, it's going to be so high. So from our chest line, we can decide to come up 2 inches. So once we come up 2 inches, here is what we are going to do. Just blend that into the armhole area like this to form that curve. So I just use this. I use this one first as example. You understand? So we could come up 2 inches, or let's do 2.5. I think 2.5 will give us a better curve. So you're just going to curve it in like that, just like create like a sharp curve. And then once you form that curve, as you're coming, you're going to blend that into your armhole. So this one, if you want a high neckline, there's actually another pattern for this, that the part is very high. So if you want to do that, you can do this. So the next thing I want to do, I just want to do this. So I'm just showing you that first one, and then this second one like this. So you can see, you just blend that into, create a curve, let it have like a curve. So at the end of the day, I can just use my pattern curve like this to give this, yes, let it give it that beautiful smoothness. Can you see? So that's the style line for that. The next thing you want to do, you might want to tighten that part. Okay, so this is it. Let's cut out and see what we have. So if you have questions, you can drop your questions. You guys should please like this video. Okay, hit on the like button It's like, so for this, okay, I'm just going to cut here because I don't want to have shortage of fabric. So this one is the first one. So this one, if I use this pattern, you can see how it is going to be. It's going to be very high. You understand? So me, if I want to sew this, so there's actually a pattern that has this one. If I want to sew this for myself, I am going to go with that high pattern. Oh, I just forgot. I wanted to show you guys how to do the strap. But for the strap, you're just going to do your strap manually. Okay. So I'm just going to cut that like that. So that is for that. Then, so for my side, that I'm trying to cut it so that, so the back is just going to be normal. You're actually not, you're not, so that small shortage that is going to have here, I'm just going to correct it from here like this. Okay. So I did not, the other part I did not, I'm just going to tape that part back down and then cut my pattern. So I just tape that and then I'll go ahead and cut the pattern. Okay. So this is, in case you don't want to do that, that like the bust that you can decide not to do it. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this like this. I'll go with this like this, and then this is going to come out like this. Okay, so you can see how easy this is. So like I always say, if you want to increase your, if you want to perfect your pattern drafting skills, our live streams are like the best place for you to come and do that. Can you see? Can you see? So you can see our beautiful pattern. So that is for the front pattern. Okay. So the next I want to show you guys is how to draft the back. So for the back is just a normal bustier pattern. Okay. So for the back, I'll teach you how to do the back like a normal off shoulder back. So for the normal off shoulder, we're just going to take out 5 inches from our measurement. Okay. So I'll just connect this like this. So that's be the shoulder line. And then you're going to take out 5 or 6 inches. And then from that point, I'll mark the bust point. I'll mark the under bust, which is 10, under bust is 13. And then I'm going to mark the half cut. So I'm using 18. Remember, I added what do you call it? I added a side dart, sorry, for our front pattern. So that made it longer. So this is it. The next thing I want to do, like I said, I want to just show you guys. So like I said, the back is normal. So I took out 5 inches. Okay, so this part is going to be my normal point. So the next thing I want to do, 10, 13, 18. So the next thing I want to do for my back pattern is I want to mark my neckline. Okay, so I want to mark my neckline. So for the neckline, it's just going to be normal. So for this, I'm just going to use, remember we used 3 inches. So for this, I'm just going to use 3 inches for the back, for the neckline. Okay, sorry. On this part, I want to mark my shoulder line. So for the shoulder, my shoulder is 6.5. So I'm going to use 5.5. Okay. And then from that part, I'm going to mark my armhole. I'm using 6 inches to do the drop. So my armhole, I am using 7 inches. So from this point, I am just going to mark like this. So you can see it is a simple process. I'll mark a curve like this, which I am still going to eliminate later. So the next thing I want to take out is the dart. So for the dart, I'm using the same 4 inches, which is for my bust span. Okay, so the bust span is 8 inches, so I'll mark it like this. The next thing I want to do, I want to take out a dart of 1 inch, so I'm going to come to the waist part. I'll divide that 1 inch into two. That's half inch, and then I'm just going to connect it like this. Okay, I'll connect it. So I've taken out the dart. The next thing I am going to mark for this top, I'm going to extend this dart. So this dart, I'm just going to extend it. Why am I extending it? I'm extending it because this neckline, I'm going to cut this neckline out. So remember I used 6 inches before. So I want my neckline, I want it to be a little bit deeper than the back, than the front one. So I'm going to come with like 7.5 inches. So that's 7.5 inches. So this one, I'm just going to mark this like this into the armhole. So it's going to come like a canoe neckline. That's the back. Okay, so that's it for the back, for my back piece. The next thing, I want to take out my full body measurement. I'll come to this point. I'm using 36 divided by 4, which is 9. I'll add 1 inch for that, and then 1 inch for my stitching allowance. I'll come to my under bust. I'm using 30 inches divided by 4, which is 7.5. I'll add 1 inch for my dart, and then 1 inch for my stitching allowance. I'll come to the waist part, which is 34 divided by 4, which is 8.5. I'll add 1 inch for my dart, and then 1 inch for my stitching allowance. So once I am done, I am just going to connect all of these lines like this together. So this part, I'm just going to blend this armhole. So the back is going to be like a tube. Okay, so I'm just trying to get a better smooth part for my back piece. So this is the back piece. I'm just going to cut it out. So this is how the back is going to be. The back is not going to have that whole over bust on it. So it's just going to be straight. Okay, so just a little bit deeper. Can you see the way the back neckline is? So this is our back pattern, and then this is our front pattern. So can you see? You see our front pattern, and then you see our back pattern. So this is all, guys, for today's tutorial. So if you find this video helpful, most of you did not like the video. You just have just one like. I don't know, it's like the network is not looking good also, but I'm going to stop the tutorial here. For those of you that came up, you people should like the video. That's the only thing you can give to me, like the video. So I want to say that's what will encourage me. Most times, even when I'm tired, I'll just like literally force myself and come out to do these live streams for you people. So you guys should please be encouraging me. So I want to say thank you, guys. I am stopping here for today. I'll see you guys when I come up next. I don't know if I'll be able to come up tomorrow. I will try. I will try. That's why I say people should be liking the video so that I can try the more. You just came. Okay, sorry. And you can watch the tutorial. You can just go back and click it and start it. Just use the timestamp, that line, draw it back, and then start it, and you can watch it. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys. God bless you all. Bye.